You may be someone who feels like you are just having constant, intrusive, negative thoughts that you feel like you have no control over, and it affects your day to day. It affects your mood. You're tired of the highs and the lows. I understand you, okay? I've been there. Sometimes I'm still there. It is an ongoing battle. It is something that you definitely have to be intentional about conquering and mastering within yourself. The addiction that most of humanity is battling and they don't even realize it is negative thinking. I randomly just researched, just out of curiosity, what is the percentage of our thoughts that are negative? And do you know what percentage that is? 80%. 80% of our thoughts are negative. And here's the kicker. 95% of our thoughts are repetitive. A lot of us are running on a broken record of negative self-talk, of negative, not even just self-talk, just negative thoughts in general. It could be about the world. It could be about your situation. It could be about other people, judgmental thoughts. All of that is repeatedly playing in your head 80% of the time. I'm not gonna lie, when I read that, I got a sense of relief because I was like, okay, I'm not going crazy. Just to be transparent, this is something that I've recently have been battling within myself. Going into my personal growth journey, when I really became intentional about facing myself, mastering myself, going inward instead of blaming other things outside of myself, but being more curious about life and how things come about in my life. I knew that there's going to be highs and lows. There's going to be times where, you feel great and you feel good, you feel lighthearted. And then there's times where you really go through that same cycle of the negative thoughts, the negative energy, the negative. So I say that to say that, you can do the work and it is your life's work. It is your life's work to master your mind. This is the greatest tool that you will ever have. It is your biggest asset, regardless of who you are, what you look like, what you've been through. Your mind is so powerful. It is powerful enough to transform whatever reality, whatever identity you want to shift. And no matter how much work you think that you've done, no matter how much you think you've learned, there is always something else to learn. There is always something else to discover about yourself. If you clicked on this video, then you probably are feeling similar to how I'm feeling. Like you're just ready to level up mentally. You're ready to shift your thoughts, to shift your mindset in a way that is going to propel you to the next level. You're tired of the same cycles. You're tired of the same reoccurring thoughts, and you want to just ready to level up. That is what today's episode is about. Okay, how can we remove our negative thoughts and elevate our energy, elevate our way of thinking? I want to share a 5-step practice that I use to help me get out of my negative thoughts and negative thinking. It really helps with getting out of the negative spiral. And I'm going to say this is a practice, okay? It is not a one-time end all be all process. This is a practice, okay? And a practice is something that you do over and over and over and over and over again. Just with my journey and intentionally being on this personal growth journey for what I say about 7 years, it's something that I still have to do. It's something that I have to still constantly remind myself. I have to get myself out of, I have to remind myself that you know better. That this is temporary. You know that you don't have to think this way. You don't have to feel this way. So I want to get into this 5-step practice. The first thing is awareness. That is always going to be the starting point for you to get in control of your thoughts. If you're not aware of what you're thinking, then how can you change what you're thinking? I remember back in, I want to say it was 2017. It was late 2017, 2018 when I was going through it. Your girl was really going through it. I just felt so bad about myself. I felt unconfident in myself. It was just a lot. And it was very overwhelming. But I got to a point where I really got fed up with it. Like, I really was just like, okay, like, this cannot be it. This cannot be it. Where's the cameras? This is a joke. This is not it. There has to be more. It took for me to become aware that I was thinking negatively, that I was impacting myself. Nothing was impacting me more than myself, regardless of what I was going through in school or, a toxic relationship or whatever. Nothing was affecting me more than myself and how I was thinking. And so when I became aware of that and I really listened and paid attention to what was coming in, what I was tuning into on a consistent basis, that was a game changer for me. Removing your negative thoughts requires for you to become aware of them. It requires for you to confront them, and not just confront the thoughts, but also confront the underlying subconscious feelings that you have, which are bringing up those thoughts. Because a negative thought is not just a negative thought. There is something linked to it that is why you're having that thought. Whether it's fear, whether it's guilt, whether it's shame, whether it's resentment, there is a reason why you are constantly having this thought. So it's really important for you to pay attention to what's coming up and then really get curious with yourself. Ask yourself, like, okay, well, why would I think this? Why would I think this to myself or about myself? I feel like the most effective way to do this is to journal. I feel like for me, I can't just think through it. I need to write it out. So journaling and writing out, like, just unfiltered, not even caring about how you're writing, what you're saying, not even thinking too much about it, but just like vomiting in your journal. It's so gross. I'm sorry for that depiction, but honestly, kind of like that. Next step is think about what it is that you actually want. Think about what it is that you are actually asking for, because you're asking for something. When you're feeling negative, or when you're going through a contrasting moment, when you're having negative thoughts, you are asking for something on a subconscious level. So what is it that you're really asking for? Because you're not asking for depression. You're not asking for pain and suffering and heartbreak and all of that. You're asking for the other side of that, the other side of the spectrum, right? Sometimes we get so caught up in our negative thoughts that we forget that we actually want to be happy. Sometimes we get so caught up in how broke we are, we forget that it's money that we actually want. But we're putting so much of our attention to brokenness, to not having enough, to lack, instead of putting our focus onto abundance and prosperity and an overflow. We're putting so much energy and attention into the problem when really it's the solution that we want. Right after you've gotten all of the negative thoughts and the feelings that you've been feeling, after you get that out, then also write down what it is that you actually want. Get clear about what it is that you would actually make you happy in this moment. And it doesn't necessarily just have to be things, because we know that things don't really make us happy. They can be a part of our happiness. They can bring us happiness, but they're not going to make us happy, right? It's more so about getting clear about how you want to feel. How do you want to feel? Okay, because you're choosing to feel negative right now. You're choosing to feel heartbreak. You're choosing to feel pain. You're choosing to feel doubt and guilt and shame and resentment and anger. You're choosing those emotions. So what is it that you really, really want? Because you know that doesn't feel good, right? So what is it that would feel good in this moment? The third step is to meditate. And the reason why meditation is not at the top of the list for me is because if you are having negative thoughts and you are having intrusive thoughts, it is going to be very difficult to just quiet that and to just go into a meditation. If that works for you, great. But for me, I found that when I felt negative and I just tried to go into a meditation, I still found myself still thinking the thoughts. I'm not paying attention. Yeah, I'm closing my eyes. I'm listening to, guided meditation, or I'm listening to singing bowls, but I'm not paying attention to that. It's just background noise. I'm thinking about the thoughts. I'm thinking about the revenge. I'm thinking about what I should have said in that argument. So I don't think that meditation is what you should immediately do when you are feeling negative or you're having negative thoughts. I really believe that it's important to get clear about what it is that you're thinking, become aware of what it is that you're thinking, and to be clear about what it is that you want. After you have written down the things that you want, you're going to start feeling better. You're going to start feeling better when you start writing out the positive things. And you may not feel like 100%, but you will start to feel lighter. So in my opinion, that is when it's a good time to go into meditation, when you have like cleared your mind and then you're like, okay, what is it that I want? And then you go into a meditation. So then it's kind of like, even if you are still having thoughts in your meditation, you're more than likely are going to think about the positive things that you were just thinking about. But the real goal is to quiet your mind. You want to really not have any thoughts. You want to get out of your head. Being in your head for so much is exhausting. Getting into your body is what's going to really relax you, and it's going to put you in a still moment where you can just be. Quiet your mind. It may be difficult at first, but if you at least give yourself 2 minutes, just 2 minutes to just not think about anything, to focus on one thing and just feel, just be, you will feel, honestly, you'll probably do a whole 180 and feel like, okay, what was I even like so stirred up about that for? I like doing either silent meditations or just sounds. So like a singing bowl or a bell. You can also do things like listening to your heartbeat. Your heartbeat is constant. You want to listen to something that is constant, because that is going to help you, bring your focus back when it wanders, one. And then two, it's something that you can just constantly focus on. Or some people look at one object like a burning flame. The fourth step of this practice is say positive affirmations to yourself. This comes after meditating because this is a better place for you to start telling yourself amazing things, right? Because when you are feeling negative and then you try to just like how I said with meditation, you just try to just jump into, no, I am powerful, I am strong. You're not going to believe it because you've already built momentum around the negative thoughts that you're thinking. You can say them, right? But are you really feeling it? Are you really believing it? When you've quieted your mind, you are in a better position to tell yourself something and feel it with depth and feel that comfort of like, yeah, I am okay. Everything is working out for me. Remember that list that I told you to write about all the things that you wanted? This is the time to put I am, I have, I will, I feel in front of those things. It's one thing to want. We want a lot of things, right? I want some coffee right now. I want $1 million right now. And I want to go on a trip to Bali right now. But wanting does not hold weight. What holds weight is believing that you already have it, that it's already yours, that it's already happening. There is no time other than now. So you really stir up better momentum in the opposite direction of your negative thoughts when you start to claim those things that you want. When you say, I am happy, I am prosperous, I do have the money in my account, I will have the money in my account, I will get the job, I feel happy, I feel abundant, I feel wellness. That is so much more powerful than I want. Another thing is you want to say your affirmations out loud. Do not just say your affirmations in your head. It is okay to do that, but don't just do that. You need to feel the vibration of your words. It needs to echo to all the cells in your body. You need to say it out loud to yourself. You need to hear it back to yourself. It is so much better to say your affirmations out loud. I don't care if you have to do it in the car, in the closet, under the bed, wherever. Say your affirmations out loud. Speak them. Do not just think them. and speak them as often as you can. Number 5 is follow your bliss. After you've done the 4 steps, from then on, leave it alone. I don't want to say throw in the towel, but like throw your hands up with it. Just revel in the fact that you feel better, and then follow your bliss. Go on to the next thing that would feel good in the moment. If it's calling a friend, if it's going for a walk, if it's reading a book, if it's going to get something to eat, do that. Follow it. Don't allow yourself to, go back to thinking like, oh, I want to do this, but I shouldn't because blah, 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 blah. Like, no, just follow your bliss. Stop thinking and do what feels good for you. Stop thinking and get into your body. Get into what would calm your nervous system. So I really believe that practice helps a lot. Just let me know in the comments if you feel like you want something a little bit more in depth with this practice, because I really believe it helps. It's helped me a lot. It still helps me. So yeah, let me know if you do this and how you feel afterwards. But just know that just because you have a negative thought or you feel a negative emotion, it does not mean that you have to stay there. It does not mean that you have to attach yourself to it. And it doesn't mean that you have to fix the problem right then and there. You just have to make the decision that you are going to care about how you feel. Because when you are allowing yourself to feel negative, you are prioritizing feeling negative over what you really want, over feeling good. You have to choose what is more important to you in that moment. Is feeling like crap more important than feeling at peace? Is feeling pity more important than feeling gratitude? Is feeling insecure more important than feeling acceptance? These are valid questions that you have to ask yourself, because you are making a choice subconsciously. When you decide to focus on your negative thoughts and your negative feelings, you are making a choice. Today's affirmation is, I deserve to feel calm in my body and peace in my mind. Write, I deserve to feel calm in my body and peace in my mind in the comments. Affirm to yourself that it is your right to be happy with who you are. Happiness is free. It doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't cost you anything to feel good. And you may not be happy all the time, but don't ever deprive yourself from it. Don't deprive yourself from your own happiness, because that's wild. That's wild work. There's always a place for you to come back to. When you allow yourself to release the negative emotions, the negative thoughts, you have a place, a home to come back to. And that is your mind. That is your sacred temple, your body. And always embrace yourself with love, compassion, and remind yourself that it's okay. You had a negative emotion, or you had a negative thought, you had a negative experience, whatever. It's okay. But there's always something for you to come back to. I hope that this video brought you guys a lot of value. I hope that there was something that you were able to take away from this video. If there was, please feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments, and also share this with someone who needs it. Share this with someone who may be battling a lot of negativity right now and just needs some encouragement. They need to know that it is okay, that you can get through this. You will get through this. It's a temporary moment. It's just a moment. It's not your life. I love you all, and I hope you all live in love, live in light, and we'll chat on the next one. Bye.